Hello, people. I hope everything is safe and sound. Here it is storming a bit, and there is this sudden rain that has suddenly, stopped our work for some time. And if you're somebody who has gone outside, I hope that you are just safe and fine and doing just okay. All right, so let's get started with today's topic. Okay, so today's topic is something that has always got me out of a problem. Okay, any problem, and that is getting things done. Okay, it means that I am, uh, you know, here to be productive. You understand the idea behind getting things done. Okay, it means that just telling, affirming yourself that I am here to be productive and I have a set of work that I will do throughout the day. Unless and until it is completed, I will not go to sleep. Now, I have learned this from a friend of mine. Okay, I'm not going to name her, and she's a very, very good friend of mine, and she is a like I wish I could introduce her someday in one of my videos. Let's see if that happens. But fortunately, she lives up in a very far away place in a different country altogether. We catch up every day for our, daily chit chat, gossip, etc. Then suddenly, I have this desire to, like meet her soon, etc. And yeah, so what happened is that where from I got this idea of getting things done is from this friend of mine. Okay, so one day, like basically, while I was in Bangalore, Karnataka, we were working together, okay, in a company. And then what happened is that she came out. I mean, she resigned much earlier than me, within 1 or 2 years, I think. And then she came home. She resigned, and then what happened is that, she decided that she will study, and I could hardly meet her anymore at work, but we would be connected anyways. And then one day, I often reach out to her for many life's problems, many other issues that I just can't find my way through. And you are lucky if you have this friend. So, and I'm not going to share this friend of mine with anybody, not even you. Anyways, so, I what happened is that one day while I was in Bangalore, I reached out to her and I asked her, okay, that uh, like it was very, very late at night, around 2 or 3 in the morning, and I needed some help. And I reached out to my phone and I saw that she was online. And I asked her that, like, I was speaking to her, and then immediately I asked her, like, why are you online? What is it that you have not slept? And she told me, see, I have some studies, and I just don't go to bed unless and until I am done with the work, whether it lets me be or not. Okay, so she is. She told me that she is this person who, if she has an assignment or a project that needs to be completed, she will complete it anyways. Okay. Now, sometimes, like we come across these people that that change the way we think of life, right? So, there is this thing in this friend of mine. I will not name her. Like I have noticed that whenever she has something important, she will do it. She will get it done. And I have always been a procrastinator in my very early days and a very lazy person. I would usually get very distracted, very much disconnected from everything around me. Okay. And sometimes I thought that it is the most important thing that I could do to myself, But then another time is that when I would look around and observe how amazingly people are moving, how speedily they are getting their things done, it would also make me feel very jealous. And I would get into that cycle of, feeling sad about myself. Then I would, to keep myself distracted, immediately I would go to that part where I would think of other people, other successful people. I would keep on Googling the names of successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, scholars, scientists. Then I would go down to that thing of, knowing that I have wasted a few hours in doing this thing, being distracted. Then I would come back to myself and I would think of my past, like why, what happened? Was there something wrong in my school? Was there something wrong over there? Is it something wrong with my environment, my country, my neighbors? Is it something wrong with the way I think about myself? Do I have a low self-esteem? Do I have this? Do I have that? Then again, I go back closer to having spent a day that could have been a blessing, the solution. But then suddenly I have leaked out a lot of energy from my day in thinking, worrying, feeling, trusting too much, and in between all the sad things gets accumulated in my life, and eventually, what happens is that I come back to that level, to that zero level, where I don't even realize that I have not been doing anything. Okay. And when I look back at myself, and I'm sure that this has happened to many of you out there, and even to this friend of mine, okay, this friend of mine that I'm alluding to in this video, okay, I'm sure that, even it, see, my parents, they keep very busy with their day, but I'm sure that this has happened to my parents as well. Like I have seen my parents thinking about, how sad life is, what is not happening. This is sad, that is sad. And sometimes, usually, they are very smart and very, the the achievers kind of a person, but sometimes even they fall into this trap. Now, I go to this place, okay, where I have not reached, not I have done anything, and then suddenly the next day, I reflect upon what is happening, and again I get distracted about these people that are far more successful than me, and then it comes down to that very low self-esteem, that these people, they had it all together. Low self-esteem, I start to blame my environment, my people, the country. It happened to me, and then I would go back to thinking that, what went wrong. And then again, I had spent 2 days just doing the wrong kind of things. Now, the thing is that, you know, this gave me a lot of things to think about. Okay. So many things to think about. For example, I just kept on thinking about this and that, and all the what is good, what is bad, and it gave me a sense of security, it gave me a sense of protection, it gave me a sense of well-being, and of course it gave me a sense of a higher, what can I say, it gave me a complex that my problem and me, and I am a very, like, person who has lots of issues, lots of problems, like they're like people around me are, um you know they need my help, and it had for some time kept me in the savior complex zone. Okay, this has happened to me. Now, what is wrong with this kind of a thing? I'll come back to this, but like, again, I will talk about this friend of mine, this friend that I was comparing myself to. Like, I've noticed that if there is something, like, for example, she needs to get some grocery done, okay? She needs to get some. some paperwork done. Okay, there is something that she needs to go and do it. She will do that. She will go out there, she will get things done. Okay. And the thing is that she will just go out there, she will, like ask for help if needed. She will do this and that. And then immediately she would get back on track. And of course, she would also get distracted a bit. Now, coming back to myself, I have after I left Bangalore and I came back to Calcutta, I came to a realization that being a little speedy and just telling myself this one thing, that getting things done is the most important thing that we can do in life. Okay, for example, we can just wake up. See, if first of all, I mean, this you are aware that being unmotivated leads to being unproductive. Being unproductive for even a few hours, adds feeds to the idea of being unmotivated. Then, when you are being unmotivated, you feed back to that idea of being um, distracted and not getting things done. Then again, you feel unmotivated. Why? Because see, people, obviously, you might have like whatever it is that is keeping you in this cycle throughout the year, throughout decades, is real. Okay. See, today, if you are somebody who thinks that, your environment is not that amiable or friendly or work friendly, okay, there is no work culture around, it is absolutely fine. Okay, people just notice that as time does pass, right, you will look around and you will see that those people who were left in the failure zone, in the zone of not figuring things out, were also given some advice. Probably they had used the internet, probably they had used the wise words of some leader, or probably their own mothers and fathers, and they have moved out of that zone in life. And eventually it will dawn upon you that, oh my God, what is it that I am doing? You know, today this person could do a different thing. Yesterday, just yesterday, this person was being super lazy, having cups and cups of tea with me at the tea stall. Okay, and also doing nothing, literally doing nothing. They were playing with me, they were having fun with me, and not doing a thing, and not doing a thing. And also, they were, being very much lazy. Like, whenever you would ask them, what are your career plans? They would be like, I don't have a plan, I don't have anything to do, etc., etc. Right? Now, suddenly, after even 6 months or 2 months, you see that there is this person, the same person has done something out of the box, and they're out of this zone. They have done something crazy, and they have reached great heights in life, and they're doing great as well. So just imagine these people that, you know, how do you achieve this when you are stuck in this cycle? Okay, for example, somebody who loves to work, somebody who is very industrious, okay, and like work culture, hustle culture is my thing, okay. I don't like to be, like lazy and sitting around, because first of all, it is something that is very questionable in my household. Like, if my parents observe me just sitting around for 15 minutes, they will come and question me, like, what is it that you are doing? What is there something wrong? Can we help you with something? Do you need help? Something like that. They are very conscious about this thing. I'm not going to the level of whether this is good or bad, or they are being, over conscious about being successful in life. But I'm thankful that they are like this. It has kept me on my toes. It has made me do a lot of things that are important. Okay. Now, the thing is that, you know, uh, see, getting things done is something that is a kind of a formula that you can use when you feel extremely unmotivated and extremely less cheerful in life. Okay. And so, I was in this zone some years back, and I told myself that, what is the next thing that I can do? Okay. If going out, being social, okay, speaking up the truth, showing up at places feel dangerous and disgusting and also a little bit not so up to my mark. It happened to me. I used to think that, okay, you know I can do that work, but that work is not up to my mark. Okay, I'm a person who doesn't need to learn, who doesn't need to understand, who doesn't need to make a move or something like that. But you know what happened is that I told myself, okay, like I can just show up at my breakfast table in time. Then eventually I can just tell my parents that, these are my days plan. Then the next thing is that what is it that I'm doing with my studies. Then the next thing is that what are my plans, what are my other plans. Then the next thing, if I'm doing something else, do that. Eventually getting that out in the world. Okay. And like, so how do I do it? Maybe I can speak out loud, maybe I can connect to people on LinkedIn, maybe I can be more connected and available online on Facebook, Twitter, etc., right? So this is the way that you get onto the get things done mode. Okay. Now there are some people, including me, that getting even the thing of getting things done feels impossible. Why? Because we are very much conscious about our surroundings. Okay. Now, why are we that conscious about our surroundings? And how does it exactly help or get us back into that very unproductive zone? Okay. So, I'll tell you, how do we become more than necessary conscious about our surroundings? Now, I want you, whoever you are, okay, maybe you have noted that you are staying in a very dangerous and unprotected area, and you live in a very, and there is another one of you who have noticed that there is a place that is not so happy. Maybe you have noticed that you live in a very affluent and very safe and high rise community. Maybe there is someone among you who has noticed that you live in a very rural and a very rustic area. Maybe there is another person among you who have noticed that you live in a very, um, you know, very extremely competitive society. Okay. Maybe you live in a PG where you are a student and you observe day in and day out your friends doing things that they probably dislike to do, honestly speaking, because that is what most of us are doing these days. And that is the thing, people. So and you go out in the world with this idea that you can just focus in life by being super conscious, like constantly thinking about your surroundings, constantly thinking about your um, like, I mean, how your environment is, what your neighbors did that day, what your neighbors did today, why are you so sad, why did that thing happen? I mean, I can't think of enough uh, of these things, okay? I was like that once. My mother especially was like this once. I remember that my uh, like I have a few relatives and I even had a few colleagues, some friends who were like, I don't know what is this psychology called, or it might just be being normal, that you are extremely conscious about your surroundings. Now, what happens when you get into this state of being? Okay, let's say you wake up one day and you hear some strange uh, and unusual conversation in your neighborhood, and you keep on thinking and thinking and thinking, and then suddenly the next day you hear some other conversation around that conversation, and then suddenly you hear uh, another conversation around that other conversation. Okay, and this is how you become quite negatively conscious about your surroundings. Okay, like what is it happening, what is the, but there are also some positive impetus around it. Okay, what are the positive impetus? The positive impetus are that, like maybe you like your surroundings so much. Okay, maybe you are very much ecstatic, like just some time ago it was raining and I was very happy about how it looked when it was raining. And people, let us talk a bit about climate change since we have reached the discussion around rain. So, have you noticed that how instantly after it rains, it gets a little cooler and it gets far more beautiful? And it the heat doesn't bother us that much, and we love all those things, you know But suddenly, these days, I have observed it that it is not just me, but it is a lot of other people there who feel a little anxious around monsoon. Why? Because we kind of realize that this monsoon might not last very long, or it might, like one day I will discuss about El Nino and La Nina. These are two uh, extremely, what can I say, serious topic around climate change, and those who are related to the, they, I mean, related to the scientific world, they are talking about it, and like people are trying to find solutions around it. Okay, so I will talk soon about El Nino and La Nina. Now, these are weather conditions, and we need to know. So, people, talking about rain, okay, um, it feels like we don't know what is going to happen with our monsoon. Okay, we might have the rain, we might not have the rain. The monsoon might be so much that we don't get even to work around it. Okay, and what is the most uh, what is the what can I say, largest reason behind these changes in monsoon? It is the climate change. And what is the largest reason behind climate change? It is our lack of responsibility to even come to a point where we can talk about it, where we can speak to ourselves, where we can, get to a point where we listen to a person quietly, and these things are there. For example, I remember that there was this group that I was once a part of, and everybody were extremely scholarly people. Okay, and they were very, what can I say, they were very intellectual as well, and all of them were aspiring for great things in life. What eventually happened is that, few of us in the group, especially me, I was speaking a lot about climate change. Okay, and eventually, these people turned uh, deaf. Why? Because they like, we started to have an argument about plastic, its uses, and how we can do things a bit different way. Okay. Now, let us please know certain things that, plastic and do, like, what can I say? See, I have seen that there is a lot of ignorance. Sometimes I find it that I just can't do without plastic, okay? And life becomes super easy when I have a lot of plastic bags around me, plastic bottles. Plastic bottles are more lightweight than steel, copper, other bottles, and also they are far cheaper, of course. And I understand all those things. Now, people, let us get to the point and just think that if we are those people, if we are a population who just doesn't listen, then who just doesn't care, who just doesn't want to discuss, okay, spend 1 hour listening to somebody complaining about plastic, then we might become the population who is in the wrong limelight. Okay, so more about that very soon. It is a very strange observation that a lot of people have done, and if you have fallen victim to this situation where you just can't listen, where you just can't observe or even pay attention to a concern that somebody is raising, then you might be in a problem, okay, that you did not see coming. And like, instead of saying that you might fall victim to, I should say that you might become a person who um who might be cut out from a lot of problem solution and their discussions out there. Okay, so I want you to stay connected, and I badly want you to know that these things do happen, and be there, okay, for this planet, for yourself, for your family, uh, for the climate, for a far more healthier thing to talk about. Okay, now let us get to the point of getting things done. Okay, so getting things done means that we figure out that this is the problem, okay, and this is the solution. So if we have to keep the problem under control, we have to be there with the solution. And the solution sometimes seems so unsurmountable, so unapproachable, and so costly, and of course so out of our reach that we just can't do it. Okay, so what do? We get things done. We do see, I am the kind of person I am. I do the most difficult thing at the beginning. Okay, why? Because I would rather be a failure. I would rather be known as a person who took a lot of steps in a very hurried way than I would become the person who is just doing it, getting things slow, etc. Okay, so what is it that I do? I see that, okay, these are the solutions. Okay, for example, let us just think that today you are somebody who has to clean the windows. Okay, now just imagine you have to like scrub your windows, you have to like keep the windows open for some time, then you have to you know put a lot of water on it, and you have to close the windows, and then you have to just like look at the lattice work around the windows. Maybe you need to check the paint, maybe you need to like scrub the rust of it, etc., etc. So these are the things, people, that you are probably going to do for the day, and it feels so difficult, just to go there with your things, with your brooms, with your bucket of water, with those scrubs, etc. So the first thing that you do is to just do the most chill, do the easiest thing out there. So instead, like I'm looking at that side because there is where my window is, and we have sliding windows. So what is the first thing that you can do? Instead of choosing the easiest thing, choose the most difficult thing. Like I'm assuming that probably scrubbing the windows because it is difficult, you know, uh, and you take up scrubbing the windows, okay, how much ever difficult and time consuming it is. So you do it. Now you have scrubbed the windows down, okay, and it looks cleaner. And then the next difficult thing to do is to run the water, like throw water on it, rinse it, clean it, okay. So you got that done. It felt stupid. It was very much, what can I say? It was very hard. You feel tired, time consuming. It was not your favorite thing to do. Then the next thing you do is that you have to just probably do the other things. Like maybe you need to put the curtains back, which is a bit easier. Then the next thing you need to do is to, like probably the other things, right? Like dust it a bit, and maybe you can just put the other curtains, the covers, etc., right? And check the locks, and that's it. That's it. So people, like this is one approach. The other approach is to do the easiest thing, is to think, to talk, to complain. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to get up. You don't need to have an argument. You don't need to agree, disagree, get scared, fail, or anything. But it happens, okay? So you suddenly decide that, I'm not going to be a part of this force of human being that changes how things are, and you suddenly become the person who lives under others decisions, okay. And you for sure take it for granted, people, that you become this person who just does not care and who ends up complaining about your surroundings, okay. And like I was reading this book by that very famous author one day. um I will check and let you know. So this person was telling that, if you don't make a, like, let's say you find yourself stuck, okay, you need to make a drastic change in your life, otherwise you will be stuck. And of course there will be other pathways, other roads that will make you happy and feel enriched and, super powerful also probably. But then you will keep on complaining about your surroundings. Then suddenly your government will be the one who has done this thing to you. Your country will be the one. Your countrymen suddenly look bad to you. Suddenly, your what can I say? The roads are not that well constructed. You know, everything is bad. All the industries in your country are bad. But see, people, if you keep on checking with yourself and your surroundings, everything actually is good. Everything is great. Okay, help is available, resources are available, and the only thing that probably keeps you from getting things done is the lack of love. I think about this, okay? I think that this is a cause why people don't get things done, because you are probably not a person who is that committed to something. Probably you are not somebody who is that careful about the future of your parents, the future of your surroundings, the future of your neighborhood, or anything at all, okay. And you just get to carry on life as is, being lazy, probably also being a bit dangerous, what can I say, being extremely critical about your surroundings, etc., etc. And in your space, nothing ever gets done, okay. So people, just let us know that, is it okay if you know like sit around for, just ask yourself that, have a little bit of self, okay, that today if I continue like this, you know, eventually those around me, there is a high chance that those around me will move out. Okay, will have fun, will do things, they will look for greener pastures in life, they will look for better solutions to their problems, etc., etc. Okay. Eventually, people, what will happen is that you will find that you have a lot of space around you, you are isolated, you are back to being that introverted human being, you are like okay with things, etc., etc. Okay, and you don't have to face the world as is, and that itself is so rewarding. Trust me, people, I have been there. I can tell you that that itself is very rewarding, that you get to just sit around and think about the ceiling, think about what I can do, think about how wrong everything is, how sad the government is, you know, that these people are not doing enough for you, and they have done this despite all the other, what can I say, all the many help that they have put across. Okay, like in our area we have water ATMs where you can get water for as low as 2 rupees. you know Recently I've been to this place, and I was in a very popular and a very huge railway station. We got to fill our bottles with water that that costed us almost nothing. Well filtered water, and it cheered me up, to think that way. Also, now how do I define you more about getting things done? Okay, so just understand this one thing, people, that um, sometimes it actually feels very difficult. Okay, if you are depressed or sad, or if you are lonely, like you are not connected enough, and see, if you have been depressed, sad, lonely, and you are not connected, okay, if you are not connected, what will happen is that, see, the world is moving very fast. Okay, sometimes it feels scary to me. Okay, somebody as industrious as me, it feels scary. And also, like, people out there are learning skills, and they are like enjoying the uh, opportunities they have, things. mm, I mean, their resume looks better. These things do happen, and suddenly, people, what happens is that you realize that even though you want to connect to those important people out there, to those productive people out there, you just can't connect. Why can't you? Because they are busier, they are because they are busy, they are unavailable. And like, see, um some people do have the habit of thinking that they are busy and thus they are unavailable. Okay, it has happened to me as well. Probably you have done this thing to others as well, that you got so busy in life and it kind of made you feel um very exhausted to even go out and think that you will spend half an hour talking to that person that you were once acquainted with. Okay, it happens. Now, people, the thing is that these these kind of sadness, they become a part of your life unless and until you change. Okay, so just imagine that today you are here, and whoever you think you should be connected to are there doing good things in life. Okay, and these people, okay, these people, I mean, where you think you are a part of, like that cycle where you have done nothing, and you don't have the relevant skills, etc., etc. Eventually, you will notice that you know you can't even relate to this other friends of yours. Why? Because they have other things to do. Probably they don't even have the mindset to sit and talk to you, because they are solving things in such a way that is very difficult for you to understand, and you get back into that zone of philosophy. Now, who doesn't love philosophy? I love philosophy. I wish I were a philosopher. Okay, I wish I could sit around and think, and it makes me that, I mean, it is one of the top three happy things in my life. Okay, it makes me feel very productive. It makes me feel like I am in this podium or a stage where I get to dictate people's life, where I get to tell you, even myself, that this is wrong, this is bad, and like all those things. But then, you know, the moment I get around, it has happened to me, people. Okay, I sit here and I just think that, look at those people, like they are. Like 10 years back I was like this, like I would just sit and think that, oh my god, look at those people. They are just they understand nothing about life, and they have this habit that they will run after those promotions, they will do those things, and then they will go shopping, they will go to the next coffee shop, they will like order things online, and that is all that they can do. But the but now now I know that these things are a kind of source of happiness in life. Okay, and so like I'll tell you this for sure, and I have observed this among a lot of my relatives, a lot of my very old friends, that they have been super chill about what is going to happen, the fear of the unknown, right? So they were like, no, I can just go with the flow. But then suddenly they have got so backward in life, so lagging behind, that there is nothing that they can do anymore to save themselves from that bad zone. Okay, and the only thing that seems relevant is to gossip, being scared, being sad, and attract sad things in life. Okay, you just can't stay connected if you have no bridges that will keep you connected. Now, what are these bridges? These bridges are, your work. If you continue working in a very productive way, your identity with yourself. Also, if you have another bridge, which is, let's say, like you have done your work in such a um, beautiful and such a productive way that you have gained a lot of knowledge, and you get to that zone where you can start to even solve problems. And suddenly you become this person who is not just connected, but also you are one of those people who can just make a comeback and say that, like, yes, of course, like, of course, I was lagging behind in life, but I've made a comeback and here I am. Okay, and I'm solving the same problems as these world leaders are solving. And you have done things in a correct way, you have taken very speedy decisions, and you have not even stopped to say hello to the problems around you. Okay, so these are the things that sometimes, uh, make us feel good about ourselves. Okay, now, people, I really want you to check that if your surroundings are not that happy, then you probably need to change your surroundings. But mostly, like today in 2025, the world has become uh, an online place. Okay, like we are not just citizens, we are also netizens. So netizens can have their way around. You and I, we can stay connected, and like you can, like today, if you want to let's say, there are so many platforms where you can stay connected online and learn new skills and do new things. Okay, so that is what it is, people. So getting things done is easier if you, like, let's say today, I have I mean, you tell it to yourself that today I have decided for the next 3 days I will just get things done. Trust me, people, getting things done is far more easier than to sit around, be sad, and be unavailable, be unproductive, and not even there where you can decide what you need to do. Okay, so people, I'll tell you that I am very much hopeful that this message reaches to you and those of who you care for and love. And like coming back to this friend of mine, she also has been in situations that are not so perfect, okay, just like you and me, okay, and she has come out of it, okay, and she has, but when I say come out of it, what do I mean? See, the way we see life these days is that there is this circle and there is this other circle where you, like, like it is as if it is a home where you have problems, everything is sad, and suddenly you come out of that architecture, come out of that building, and everything seems glorious. Is it so? Is everything that glorious? No. Everything comes with a cost and a change of feelings and a change of mental health, etc. Right? So I have seen that this friend of mine, my parents, and like many other people that I can speak for. I mean, especially this friend of mine, that she is always productive. Like there is nothing, no weather, no sad news that can stop her from being herself. Like I always visualize that she is this cheerful and productive and strong person. Okay, so maybe we need to be a little strong and happy, and maybe we just need to be um, ecstatic that we are going out and we are being um, uh, just another human being, right? So be just another human being, people, before you even get to the zone of getting things done or doing something or deciding what is right for you. Just tell yourself that you are just another human being. Okay, you will have the problems that others have. Okay, and if you sit around being a philosopher, being a person who is an imaginary dictator, you will lose out on time and everything. Okay, so I wish you all the best with life, and just be happy.